part of the Trinity mentioned, the person of the Trinity mentioned in Numbers chapter 31:18, that take the young ones for yourself. And almost all rabbinic commentators said that young ones means prepubescence, actually.
Han Meditation. Hello guys, I am Han. This is Kelly.
Hi.
We are Han Meditations. We're back with another interesting video. Now, it seems like there's almost a lot of controversy, drama, clashing, a lot of back and forth between a lot of people that are in the spiritual, religious, and basically just podcasting space. I mean, number one, we should all be friends and be able to help people. If anyone out there is watching this video, they want to come on our podcast, they want to talk to us, you're welcome to do so. So just send us an email. And I believe some people did, and we should get them on. So, but with scheduling and things, guys, things get tight. So just send us another email. We'll give you our personal information, and you can come on and have a conversation. If, you know, it's interesting and, you know, the people want to hear it. So we would love that. But yeah, I think everyone should be united, and I don't know what's going on. I've seen Patrick Bet David's stuff. I think he's a good businessman from what I know. I don't know him personally. I don't know any information about him, really, other than I've seen his show, and I think he's entertaining. But, of course, anyone you see online, you're never going to agree with anything they say 100%, especially whenever they're talking religion or politics. So let's just see what's going on.
This is Mohammed Hijab. I believe this is him.
What's he saying?
He's defending Mohammed is sex with children and calls pedophilia relative.
At all. We think that it's just because we have a different idea of what it means to be a child, which can be tracked historically. In these countries where we live in now, one is legal and one is illegal.
Oh.
Is this guy trying to justify having sex with a 13-year-old girl? Is this what he's trying to do right now?
Adam, you have to listen to the end. Okay. He's not finished.
And once again, pedophilia is very relative.
Very relative. And
so what are you trying to do, Mohammed?
Yeah,
are you trying to change the age of consent?
Hold on. So is it not? Is pedophilia is legally relative as a matter of fact? That's not my opinion. That is a matter of fact. As I mentioned, if you go to Germany, the age of consent is 14 years old. If you go to the United Kingdom, the age of consent is 16 years old. If you go to the United States, in some places, the age of consent is 18 years old. In some other places in the EU, it's go back to 14. In Italy, in Spain, etc. There's 7 European countries, EU countries, which the age of consent is 14. I actually mentioned the age 14. If they had a real problem with it, I don't see them protesting against the German laws. I don't see them protesting against the Spanish laws. I don't see them protesting against Italian laws. So the point I'm saying is this, is that it's relative by virtue of fact. And it's not my opinion. That is a fact. If you're in England and you have intercourse with a 13-year-old, you're a pedophile, or 14-year-old, you're a pedophile. And if you go to America and you have intercourse with the same age, then you're not a pedophile. So it's relative based on the arbitrary measures of policymakers in different parts of the world. That is a matter of fact. If they want to reprimand, they have to now come with an argument against. So is he trying to justify sex with children? Children, that's the whole question. That's the inquiry. What is a child? That is the question. He's poisoning the well. He is begging the question, which is a fallacy. It's called begging the question fallacy. I'm not saying that they're children. I don't believe in having sex with children. No, I don't believe in that. I've never said that once in my entire life.
You never said that once. Let's make that clear.
Of course, I've never said that once. And I think the low IQ, pot noodle eating, weirdo that was sitting there, that maybe he was, sorry to say, watching something, maybe that he shouldn't have been watching before, eating his pot noodles, eating his Krispy Kreme, watching what he shouldn't have been watching in his mother's cellar, had the audacity to speak in that manner and try and inquire in that way without humbling himself and asking questions and being a real man, which he cannot be, and he is not. Yeah, and the other ones there sitting ducks, low IQ, they don't realize that actually there was nothing in the speech of this man that suggested what this man is suggesting I'm saying. If he was in the United Kingdom, I would sue him for defamation of character. Now, the reason why I'm not doing that, because in the United States, it's much more difficult to do that, and it's much more costly, and he's not that significant anyway, this individual, who looked like he was a shoe shiner for Patrick Bet Davis. Maybe he was shining some shoes and stuff like that and cleaning in the toilets. And then they said, just come in for a second. We've run out of guests today. Come, just say it. Just sit here and just fiddle with the computer. Make yourself useful. And give us some coffees and teas as well and some Krispy Kremes. And you know how to make the pot noodles, so might as well make that one as well. So this guy who's a nobody, who's trying to challenge me, and Bet Davis, we spoke to Bet Davis, me and you. And we spoke, we had a good conversation, never disrespected the man myself. I've only held him to account in the proper and meaningful way where he has, overcrossed the boundaries. Should have had the integrity, the intellectual integrity to stop this chump from saying the stuff that he was saying, but he didn't have that. And we don't expect that from them.
Let's go on to a couple more clips. Let's go to the next one.
And guys, and let's just go back, because Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? We're Christians, and you have to say what it is. Jesus Christ spread love, spread peace, spread all that type of stuff. Was he a virgin, Tom? Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Okay. He's treated women great. If we're going to go according to many Islamic historical sources, including the Hadith, collections of the Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad was betrothed to Asia when she was 6 years old, and the marriage was consummated when she was 9 years old. I'm just throwing out facts. This guy's name is Muhammad. That's what he's basically preaching, is that this is that type of mindset. And
I mean, we've read this and we've seen this, right?
All right, he brought up Jesus. He started off with Jesus. We can have a lot to say here. What do you
here? Well, the first thing I will say is that they believe that Jesus is the author of the Old Testament because he's part of the Trinity. Because don't forget, they believe that the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit are one God. And therefore, it would follow that he's the author of the Old Testament. And it would also follow, therefore, that when Jesus, the part of the Trinity mentioned, the person of the Trinity mentioned in Numbers chapter 31:18, that take the young ones for yourself. And almost all rabbinic commentators said that young ones means prepubescence, actually. There is no such equivalent verse in the Quran. There's no such equivalent hadith in the Prophet's sayings. There is nothing in Islam that says you can take the young ones, the prepubescence for yourself. So according to them, Jesus Christ, he ordered people to essentially, and some commentaries actually say, rape them, sexually assault them without their will, sorry to say. So if you're saying you 1000% disagree with it, then can you please come online and tell us that you 1000% disagree with the Bible, and 1000% disagree with Jesus Christ, and 1000% disagree with Numbers chapter 31, verse 18, and 1000% disagree with the injunctions given therein? I can 1000% guarantee that this chump will not do that, because he does not have the intellectual prowess or the integrity. He's not integrous enough to be able to face his own contradictions. And in fact, his argument has collapsed under the weight of the internal contradictions therein. So I would say to you that the first thing, if you wanted to mention Jesus, is to mention what I've just mentioned. And especially this verse of Numbers chapter 31:18. You can go and look into, there is a website called Sephardim.com, which shows you all of the commentaries of the Old Testament, especially the rabbinic commentaries, using the Hebrew language aforetime about this, the Talmudic commentaries, the Babylonian Talmud, the Palestinian Talmud, about this particular verse. And it's pretty clear. And even some translations into English talk about young girls. It's pretty clear if you look at the sources, this is talking about the prepubescent ones. So the right-wing people and this man and other people that want to accuse the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ of such and such and this and that, you have to first deal with this inquiry before you start speaking about Islam. And then now, we've already addressed this, but then I'll address it again. He started mentioning about Aisha, at the age of 9, etc., etc. And the response to this is as follows. As we both mentioned, and quite rightly so, me and you and the rest of the Muslim people and the majority of the populations, especially in the West, do not condone or are asking for a change in the age of consent, whether in the UK, in the US, in the EU, or even in the Muslim countries. We have no such desire. There's not been one protest movement, one lobby group. By the way, I'm not sure if you know this, in the UK, there was in fact an organization called PIE, which is linked to the Labour Party, which is the party that is in charge now of government, that was officially politically lobbying for the reduction of the age of consent. Yeah. So the only people that actually have that history are the very people that are in power in these countries. We don't have such a wish or desire to change the age of consent.
Whoa. Now, this is interesting to me because when I seen the clip from PBD, it seemed like they weren't really trying to get to the bottom of what he was saying.
Fact check.
Yeah, and really look at what he was saying. I haven't seen the podcast, so I don't know what he was saying. I'll say outright, if you're talking or dating or anything with someone that's underage, it's wrong. It's wrong. And that's in my opinion. So that's just my personal opinion. Back in the day, it was different. There were different times. There were different rules. People lived way shorter than they do now. So whatever was happening back in the day, I'm not sure. They couldn't even keep track of age that well back then either. So, but
that's true.
When he's talking about young kids, that actually is talking about pedophilia. If you're talking about prepubescent, because I asked ChatGPT to clarify. It says hebephilia refers to sexual attraction to early prepubescent adolescents, typically 11 to 14, and in ephebophilia, I've never even heard of this before, refers to sexually attracted to late adolescents, typically 15 to 19. So that actually includes legal in there, 15 to 19. Huh. That's interesting.
Technically a not fully developed person, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this day and age, but usually men are attracted to younger women. I'm talking of age, of course. Younger women that are of age because it shows a sign of vitality in life. Just like women want a strong man, and a lot of times women want older men. So, this is just I don't know why this is even coming up or why they're having this conversation, because I believe that both of them only date women of age and only want that and only think that should be legal. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, this was just, obviously we just saw a very short clip of that Patrick Bet-David's podcast. It was a very short clip. I don't know how much they looked into what Mohammed Hijab said. I'm not sure. It was just a very small context. But I will say that the person kind of accusing him of this or whatever, you could just hear in his voice there was a lot of emotion behind it. He was kind of worked up. He was kind of jumping to things a bit, jumping to conclusions a bit. And again, this is all just based off this clip that we just saw. And I will say that Mohammed Hijab, it sounds like his approach is just very quite logical thinking. Kind of taking emotion out. And sometimes when people are looking at things with emotions, especially on a topic and a subject like this, it's hard for people who are a little more emotional for them to see that really logical viewpoint. Mm-hmm. But there's points in both, right? However, I think that we can't really look at those. I mean, we're talking about so long ago, centuries upon centuries ago. Customs were different. Life was different. Health was different. Everything. I mean, many kings married, young women. And also, for a long time, the average age of women to get married off was around puberty, 12 or so. And these were just the normal customs. But I don't see anybody looking at what was going on back then and trying to rewrite today's laws and customs, right? So I think that everybody, if they, in a way, defend the past, it's not that they're trying to bring that into today, right? And be like, hey, it was okay then, let's make it okay now. I've never seen anyone say that. Definitely not. So
it's just a fallacy called presentism where you're judging the past on today's standards. which doesn't make sense because everything was different back then.
Absolutely.
So let us know what you guys think in the comments, guys. And I believe we've reacted to some of his videos before, even Patrick Bet David's video. So these two guys are pretty big on YouTube. So let us know what you guys think. And thank you guys for liking the video, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video.
Everyone.
And thank you to everybody who even just donates to the channel. Every penny counts, guys. We see every donation. We appreciate it. We need it more than you realize.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you guys, and we'll see you
in the next video.